रंगनाथन, इनके ना दिमाग कभी साफ थे, दिल तो क्या ही होंगे।
Good evening. Very sober note that
Dr. Manmohan Singh has got blood on his hands today, because the hands that he shook belong to Yasin Malik, and those hands with the blood of Judge Ganju and squadron leader Ravi Khanna. And it is diabolical that all of us live in a state and a country where for 32 years those crimes have gone unpunished. Not only that, governments after governments have done nothing to make sure that those crimes are punished. Even the BJP gave him passport. Congress ने क्या क्या किया वो तो मैं आप क्या ही बताऊं, आप खुद जानती हैं. Leave alone being remorseful or being repentant for not even being punished for these cold-blooded murders. He goes and then sits with India's most wanted terrorist, Hafiz Saeed. This crime for which he has been punished today, life sentence, even though NIA had demanded a death sentence. Crime was committed in 2017, so I must commend this government for at least pursuing this. But what happened to those cold-blooded murders that happened 32 years ago? What happened to his hand in the kidnapping of Rubaiya Saeed that actually started this whole intifada, if you can call it that the Kashmiris call it, and all this terrorism in Kashmir? And for a terrorist to go unpunished for 32 years and become an apostle of peace, to hoodwink this government,
what about
the past government, all its intellectuals.
Dr. Anand Ranganathan, please carry on.
Yes, I hope I won't be interrupted. Serious topic. I did not interrupt Mr. Majid Hydari. I know he doesn't have brain, but I'm surprised he doesn't have ears as well. In my first sentence, Manmohan Singh, I also said that BJP gave him a passport, which was the fact in 2001, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So, आप सुनिया करिए ढंग से. और number 2, as far as Yasin Malik is concerned, did I not say that his crimes have gone unpunished for 32 years? Now let me ask you, God forbid or Darwin forbid, if my father or your father Majid Hydari was killed in cold blood by a terrorist, would you not be screaming for justice? Would you be fine for saying that, yes, all right, he is now saying that he's an apostle of peace, he's not repented? Would you be fine? I ask you this. No, you would not be fine, Majid Hydari, even though you say that you do not believe in the Supreme Court and the Constitution of India. On October 14, 2017, you said Sharia is above Supreme Court. I know your history, लेकिन अभी हम उसमें नहीं जाना चाहते. We are talking of a terrorist, Yasin Malik. So I say this again, Navika, this country was perhaps a banana republic the moment it became a republic. How can we stand and laugh or do whatever in a state where a man admits on BBC Hard Talk again with Tim Sebastian, Yasin Malik admitted twice that yes, JKLF murdered Judge Ganju for convicting Maqbool Bhatt, and yes, JKLF killed squadron leader Ravi Khanna and 3 other IAF personnel. He admitted these 2 crimes, and still he was free. He is an apostle of peace. ये देश है या मजाक है? So Majid Hydari, please keep your innuendos and whatever selective bashing to yourself. I'm in no mood today. I want justice. And I want justice for my brothers like Ashok Pandit and 5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits who were driven out by like Yasin Malik.
Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Yes. Navika, 2 points here. Number 1, you're absolutely right. Even though publicly he shunned violence, he was an exceedingly violent who never paid for the cold-blooded crimes that he committed. Never paid. Now, I don't mind, terrorists being brought to the discussion table or whatever, as it happens with many, places or countries where strifes or terrorism have existed. The point is you have to pay for your crimes. You have to be punished for them. And after that, you can come to the table. This guy not only is not punished for his crimes, goes and merrily meets Hafiz Saeed. So, number 1 और number 2, ये जो कांग्रेस के स्पोक्स पर्सन है, मैं इनसे कहना चाहूंगा कि ये जरा अपने कांग्रेसियों की भी बात सुन लें. Shashi Tharoor on record has said that yes, Congress rigged the 1987 state elections, rigged them. And the genesis of the crime and the gun that was picked up by Yasin Malik was because his candidate was going to win hands down. And the National Conference candidate arrested Yasin Malik and the opponent and they were thrown in jail. That was the genesis of this guy becoming a terrorist. Congress is squarely responsible, and Farooq Abdullah. So ये जितना कम बोले उतना ठीक है. बहरहाल, Anavika, just 10 seconds. As I always apply the Anderson razor. हांडा साहब, मैंने आपको इंटरप्ट नहीं किया. मैं सिर्फ ना, हांडा साहब, प्लीज थोड़ा सा संयम रखिए. Please, I did not interrupt you. I just need 10 more seconds. Because what I'm going to say is very important. And please, you also must pay heed. Navika, yet again, I apply the Anderson razor. 10 seconds. I don't blame Yasin Malik. वो टेररिस्ट है. टेररिस्ट का काम है ये करना. टेररिस्ट का काम है मारना, पनिशमेंट ना लेना, बच के रहना, धूल झोंकना, उल्लू बनाना, पैसे ऐंठना. ये टेररिस्ट का काम है. स्टेट का क्या काम है? क्या स्टेट का काम है कि उसको टेररिस्ट बने रहने देना? क्या स्टेट का काम है कि उसको पनिश मत करना? क्या स्टेट का काम है उसको जितने पैसे ऐंठने वो पैसे देना? क्या स्टेट का काम है कि उसको हाफिज सईद में मिलने देना? प्रॉब्लम यासिन मलिक की नहीं है. यही मैं बार बार कह रहा हूं. प्रॉब्लम हमारी है नाविका, प्रॉब्लम हमारी है.
So Anand Ranganathan, Sanjay Jha says inflation not a problem, it is actually the democratic recession which is the problem. Sanjay Jha says that we live in a country where people will come in with investments regardless of who is in power. Respond to Sanjay Jha, and does he need a reality check?
No, first of all, Navika, I object that you continuously call my good friend Sanjay Jha as a suspended Congress leader. I mean, are you waiting for Rehan's grandson to become the Congress president before this issue can be settled one way or the other?
That's Sanjay Jha's problem, not mine.
No, but I hope this issue is settled. I mean, Tehseen is in the inner coterie of the Congress. I hope he does something to this. I mean, I'm tired listening to, you calling Sanjay Jha as a suspended Congress leader. I mean, come on, it's been a decade. Now, let me come to this issue. First of all, Rahul Gandhi, I have said this before, Navika, I say it again. Making sense of Rahul Gandhi is as easy as consuming rasam with chopsticks. I don't know what the guy says. There on that podium, he doesn't even know that it was his grandmother who inserted the phrase that India is a nation in the preamble of our constitution. और ये कह रहा है कि इंडिया नेशन ही नहीं है. अब क्या समझाए इसको? ईवीएम का शॉर्ट सर्किट तो पता नहीं, राहुल गांधी का शॉर्ट सर्किट में कोई प्रॉब्लम लगती है मुझे. एंड नंबर 2, as far as the bundle of lies my good friend Sanjay Jha blurted out, I mean, I don't have time. We're losing our on time to basically rebut all of them, but just 2 would suffice. Number 1, he talked of the, again, expectedly the WHO figure. Does he know that 20 health ministers of all states, including Congress ruled states, have blasted this WHO tally of 57 lakhs or 47 lakhs? I hope he knows this. He should talk to the health minister of Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, who say that this is not the worth, the paper it is written on, the WHO figure. Number 2, Mr. Sanjay Jha talks about democracy. Now, again, I don't need to go into that. I don't need to go into the fact that he's talking about the world is taking notice of all this. Does he know that this year, this month, in fact, has been the highest FDI that have been pulled in India? Does he know this for the last 4 or 5 years? Does he know that India has ratcheted up the highest GST in months? India is on a recovery, and people, erudite, intelligent people like Sanjay Jha, who should take command of Congress, should be encouraging this rather than parroting the line of Rahul Gandhi. Yeah, good evening Navika, and good evening to all my esteemed panelists. पहले मैं 2-3 clarifications दे दूं, उसके बाद मैं जो सवाल है उस पे आता हूं. शोएब भाई गलत हैं. Darwin theory is not a theory anymore, it is an axiom. So Shahzad is absolutely correct. Later on, protocell stack, Stemmer's sexual PCR, Stanley Miller's experiment have amply proven, and genomic sequencing have amply proven that Darwin was absolutely correct. It is not a theory anymore, it's an axiom. Berhal wo alag baat.
Meanwhile, Google search is on. Google search is on Shoaib Jamai's. What you were saying, axiom ka meaning dhoond rahe the. He was looking for the meaning of axiom.
I'm not looking for the meaning. I will refute him.
Maybe I thought.
Let him complete his
Dr.
हाँ, उससे ज्यादा पर्टिनेंट ये होगा शहजाद अगर पूछें शोएब भाई से कि डज ही बिलीव दैट द प्रॉफिट असेंडेड टू हेवन ऑन अ म्यूल, शोएब भाई विल से यस इवन दो विंग म्यूल नेवर एग्जिस्ट. बट वो अलग बात है, जो फेथ में बिलीव करते हैं वो फेथ में करते हैं, उनको आप देयर इज नो पॉइंट इन आर्ग्यूमेंट, राइट? आई मीन यू आर गोइंग टू लूज द आर्ग्यूमेंट. नाविका, अब आपको पता चला कि आप जब इनको 5 बार कहती हैं कि आप घर से ही आ जाइएगा, ये कहते नहीं मैं स्टूडियो आऊंगा, क्योंकि इनको इंटरप्ट करना है. प्लीज शोएब भाई, आई डिडंट इंटरप्ट यू, प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट मी, इट इज बैड मैनर्स. प्लीज, आप जामिया से हैं, मैं जेएनयू से हूं, भाई भाई हैं, इंटरप्ट मत करिए, अच्छा नहीं लगता. नाविका, आई ओनली हैव 2 minutes नाउ बिकॉज हाफ ऑफ टाइम हैज बीन ईटन अवे, बट लेट मी कम बैक टू दिस टॉपिक. कैन वी प्लीज? Finally, here is a chief minister who is taking steps towards true secularism and not this sham variety this country has been practicing on the back of our pseudo-secular constitution. Navika, the state has no business running religious schools. Secularism is total. I repeat, separation of religion and state. Our constitution sadly is plural, not secular. There are half a dozen articles and amendments and directive principles in our constitution that make it plural, not secular. In fact, the word secular was inserted in our preamble by Indira Gandhi during the emergency. It was absent from Ambedkar's constitution, and it is this pseudo-secularism that has allowed the state to control Hindu temples and run madrasas. In fact, it astonishes me, Navika, that Assam was running 614 madrasas whose primary job was to impart Islamic education and Sharia dictats. All these schools were now converted into regular schools by Hemanta. So the pupils will have a choice to either continue there and receive non-religious education like other children, or leave and join private madrasas, to which no one should have any objection, as practicing and imparting religious teachings is a constitutional right. This is a step towards promoting inclusivity among the minority community and should be welcomed by all Indians. Kya bawal macha rakha? After all, if the children were being taught verses like, do not marry your women to polytheist men unless they believe in Islam 2:221, or there is no deity except Allah 40:62, or those who deny the Quran, their necks will be shackled and they'll be dragged in boiling water and in fire filled 40:72, or those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire 456, or polytheists are the worst of creatures 98:6. If the children were being taught all this, I hope you can see the delicious irony, Navika, that here is a state accused of being a Hindu Rashtra by Muslims, teaching Muslims that Hindus are the worst of creatures and do not marry Hindus unless they convert. Well, good luck with promoting inclusivity. And just 10 seconds, Navika. Quote, madrasas are the hotbed for terrorism, unquote. Who said this? No, not Hemanta. No, not even a Hindu, but a Muslim, Parvez Musharraf. I clearly, see, I said 4 things and Tehseen tried to rebut me. Unfortunately, वो चारों चीजों में रिबट नहीं कर पाया. अब मैं आपको रिट्रेट करना चाहता हूं. नंबर 1, मैंने कहा आपको मदरसा में जाना है, आप जाइए. आपको संस्कृत स्कूल में जाना है, आप जाइए. हेमंता ने क्या कहा है? गवर्नमेंट पैसे नहीं देगी मदरसास के लिए, ये कहा है, which is correct. Why should a secular state pay for a madrasa? No, it should not. That was my argument. Number 2, मैंने परवेज मुशर्रफ को कोट किया था. तहसीन कहने लगे मैं आप किसी को गलत कोट कर रहे हैं, अमित शाह का. नो, आई कोटेड परवेज मुशर्रफ and I stick by that. He said madrasas are a hotbed for terrorism and he's a Muslim, right? Last I checked. Number 3, it is astonishing. तभी मैंने तहसीन भाई को कहा कि ये शोएब भाई के भाई हैं. मैं ऐसी, आई एम नॉट अ मिलिटेंट एथीस्ट, जिसको अपनी भावना में बिलीव करना है वो, बट फॉर हिम टू से दैट Quran endorses Darwinian evolution is the biggest joke of the day. Quran says Earth was created in 6 days. Quran says moon was split in 2. This is not what Darwinian evolution is.